in minute 8 of X Minutes. I'm Brian.
I'm Wolf.
And this is X Minutes, the podcast that breaks down the, at the time, longest running superhero franchise in one continuity, minute by minute. We're on minute 8 of X-Men. And, Wolf, what just happened in the Senate room?
So right after the senator received that note from his assistant, he started naming off different mutants and their powers to try to prove how dangerous they could potentially be. I think he said a girl from wherever could like walk through walls. Believe he was talking about who Cat.
Illinois, yeah.
Illinois, yeah.
Who might end up be the character that Ellen Page ends up playing.
Yeah.
Is that what's her name? Kitty Pryde?
Kitty
Is it?
Pryde.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
I know there's been actresses who played that character, possibly a different actress in every single one. We'll find out as we get further into this, but I know at least one other actress has played it before Ellen Page.
Then he says...
we can scrub through it. He says,
we can go through.
Now what's to stop her from walking into a bank vault or into the White House or into their houses, and then points at the people watching to drum up fear.
Exactly. Like,
and then
let's see what he said.
Rumors.
Oh, yeah. Enter
and this
the
is
mind.
And this is when he says, and there are even rumors, Miss Gray, this is a double shot where he's in the foreground and she's in the background of mutants so powerful that they can enter our minds and control our thoughts. And we're back to the bald man. And we get a profile swinging around with the camera, a profile as people start clapping. And I gotta shout out the lady with that impressive hair who starts clapping around 30 seconds. That hair is magnificent. Her
gosh.
Length from her chin to the top of her hair is the same length as the next gentleman from the chin into the top of his hair, and he has a very long face.
That woman reminds me of Billy Idol, or maybe a late 70s, early 80s David Bowie. She's got it's
that hair is definitely a mutation.
Right, that's her power. and let's see here. Oh yeah, so when he says, mutants that are so powerful they can enter our minds, you were right when you were saying, he's just trying to put fear in these people's minds. It reminds me of, when it comes to race relations or the LGBTQ community, it's always about fear,
Yeah.
Trying to make people terrified of what they don't understand so they grow to hate it.
Yeah, it's a choice. Sexually transmitted diseases, like HIV, AIDS, fears, and stuff like that. And heck, even recently, I won't name the pandemic thing, but I believe it was Korea was coming under fire a bit for the media focusing too much on, I can't say it, the thing that is like a corona, but being present in a gay club. Like they were getting criticism for the media focusing so much on just that and not the general state of it. But yeah, he fearmongers. His voice cracks when he says they're very real and they are among us. It's like literal aliens, aliens are among us. You might not be able to know because they've come from a distant planet and look like you, but I love how when he comes to the end of it, the last shot of him has that background bordering his head even more than hers. So it's not so much like her. She definitely had the moral high ground, but when he won the room, he got it in their eyes.
And so he's covering up the Capitol building with his head, but like that the glowing like aura is like around him. It's like it's basically shows like he is the current spirit of America at that time. It's like,
Yeah,
we yeah.
the power the in that room shifted,
Mm-hmm.
where then everyone saw him as having the morally superior high ground. So
Mm-hmm.
that was his first shot that looked up at him and wasn't either eye level or looking down. And that was after he started getting applause. And then we see a straight on shot of Patrick Stewart, which I don't know why, but this is the weirdest I've ever seen. Maybe it's the fact that there's people in the background, just a bunch of clapping, but I'm like, that doesn't look as much like Patrick Stewart as I'm used to. I don't know what.
Right.
It's just something about it. And then he looks off and sees a mysterious gentleman put on a beautiful hat. A beautiful hat
Like,
like that other guy in the first scene in the
you
concentration
know,
camp. Just something fancy.
this is like what like so we're like 7 minutes into the film, I'm pretty sure. And
Yeah, we're in
we've
the eighth
seen
minute right now.
yeah, we've seen so much go on it's pretty much mirroring itself. It's like, with the Nazis and the Jews, it's like, they were saying these people look like us, but they're not. They're bad. We need to control them. Same thing with the mutants. It all ties in to one another. I really like that. And one thing that I really like about this, like one shot I really like, is at around, let's see,
And in between
14
those
seconds.
mirroring scenes, too, we even get an incident that could
Yeah.
cause fear.
Yeah.
But which 14 seconds you said?
14 seconds. The first couple of times
Oh,
I saw this, I didn't realize that was Patrick Stewart at first. I was like,
yeah.
oh, this is just a nice shot of, Gene and the senator or whatever, and the congressman, like, in the background. But then we see it's actually Professor X, and it's kind of funny. He's talking about mind manipulation at that time as well. So
Yeah, and it's also
cool.
interesting because there's quite a almost magical like sheen on the desks. There's a
Mm.
strong light reflecting off, which reminds me of the first episode of House, which this director also directed. It's
Oh,
crazy. If you go back to that first episode, it doesn't fit in at all with the rest of the series. It's
really?
filmed like a fairy tale. It's really
Oh,
like there's
right.
a lot
Okay.
more light like that, whereas everything's like that and less regular procedural filming techniques.
Mm-hmm.
He's still the same character and everything, but just how it's filmed is so weird compared to the rest of the series. I highly recommend checking out that first episode. But yeah, it's interesting how they use the camera angles to reinforce the power shift in the room.
Yeah. And like I like how everyone is just like at the end, let me see, you were talking about the mysterious figure who was putting on that glorious fedora. Um I think something that the what's it, the senator or whatever says kind of alarms um the professor, because he's probably like, how does he know all this information about our mutants or different mutants or whatever? So
And
that kind of stirs him up
especially
a little bit.
getting concerned of how everyone's just clapping almost mindlessly.
Yeah,
They're just responding to these claims and not thinking about the big picture and
exactly,
how they would feel if they were in the position of some of these mutants.
exactly. Yeah, there's like a lack of empathy, um, because I mean, when you if mutants were real, and all you heard about, was they can walk through walls, they can control your mind, they can
which
punch
is
you.
all you would really hear about.
Yeah.
It's like when Tesla. I remember seeing a glorious article that said 7,000 vehicles have caught fire this year, but everyone's reporting the one Tesla because it's Tesla.
Oh yeah. Right.
Like a lot of people are anti-Tesla just because it's flashy and it catches um, people's attention, and
Hmm.
it gets a lot more clicks to report something negative than positive.
Yeah. But yeah, I really do enjoy this scene. This is one of my favorite scenes in the film. It starts it off really strong, for what's to come.
Nice. Well, beans. Well, that's all I've have for this minute. Do you have anything else?
Oh no,
All right, that's been minute 8. I've been Brian,
Wolf.
and we'll see you in minute 9.